Team meeting of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. Very much appreciate it. We're going to begin this meeting as we do all our meetings, and that is with a prayer tonight. We have Jamie Mosley. He's from Redeemer Church over off Bonita Driveway. Jamie, we very much appreciate you being here. If you can start us off, and then when you finish, I'm going to say the pledge. So please remain standing. Thank you, Jamie. Go ahead.
Let's pray together. Our Father in heaven, we come before you this evening in the name of Jesus, and we come thanking you for our community. I thank you for these men and women who serve our community well, and I thank you for those who are here tonight because they care about our community. Lord, we ask for your blessing to be upon us. We ask for you to lead us and guide us in ways that would allow us to flourish and to honor you. Lord, I pray for our leaders tonight that you would give them wisdom. I pray you would give them unity, and I pray that you would allow them to lead us in good directions. I pray you would give them joy in their service, and I pray that you would allow them to flourish as they seek to lead us. Lord, we ask for your blessing to be upon us. Lord, this evening particularly, we bring before you two of our servants, two firefighters, Daryl Chance and Jeff Pusini, a former firefighter who have lost their mothers. Lord, we pray that you would comfort them, that you would care for them, and that you would continue to be present with them as they grieve and as they seek to go forward. Lord, we ask for your blessing upon our community, and we do so now with great thanksgiving and with great hope. Amen.
Thank you, Jamie. Yeah, again, that's Jamie Mosley at Redeemer Church. We very much appreciate you being here and doing this for us. Please join me to say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. You've got a proposed agenda in front of you. I apologize, there's two things I need to add. One is I would like to do a proclamation here in just a minute about Assisted Living Month. And then also I'd like to add an item under information. I guess it will be B, and that will be something that will be considered 2 weeks from now. So those are the two items, and I think we have something else. No. Okay, so those two items. We have a motion to amend and a second. All in favor of amending the agenda? Aye. Those opposed, please say no. We have a motion to approve the agenda as amended. I got you. We have a motion to approve the agenda as amended. Second. Hold on one second. Alderman Stamper.
Is resolution 2017-43, is that part of tonight's agenda?
It isn't, and the sponsor has said we can hold off on it.
Hold off on it?
Yep. Sure, go ahead.
We left off the agenda, no harm, no foul. I don't think it's particularly time sensitive as long as we can take care of it on the next meeting.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. I apologize for that. I didn't know the answer to your question when you emailed me, so I appreciate you following up that. All in favor of accepting the agenda as amended, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say no. That passes unanimously. Hi there. Could y'all join me at the podium over here? Oh, there we go. Okay. Thank you. Thanks. Thanks. Hi there. I'm Jamie. Thank you. I'm Jamie. Oh, there you go. November is National Home Care Month, so I want to read a little bit about them. If y'all come over here, then we can see on camera over there. It works out much better. So thank you. Whereas home care services provide high quality and compassionate home care services to more than 5 million Americans annually, especially in times of community or personal health care crises. Whereas 90% of Americans want to age in place, and home care is the preferred method of home care delivery among the disabled, elderly, and chronically ill individuals eager to live independently in their own homes if they possibly can. Whereas home care services allow families to stay together and provide for greater health, dignity, and comfort in our communities. And whereas home care in the United States is a growing alternative to hospitalization or other institution-based forms of health care for acute and chronic illnesses, which is incredibly important. providing care to millions of Americans each year, and whereas 2 million everyday heroes, including home care nurses, therapists, and aides, traveled 7.6 billion miles in 2016 to deliver care and work tirelessly to provide professional support to millions of Americans in need of quality health care services. That's only going to increase. And those dedicated home care professionals and volunteers form a support network that continues to play a vital role in every healthcare delivery for our nation's disabled, infirm, and aging populations, and let me add, in our city as well. I, Jamie Clary, Mayor of the City of Hendersonville, Tennessee, do proclaim November 2017 as National Home Care Month, and I encourage and support the participation of all citizens in learning more about the home care and hospice concepts of care for the elderly, disabled, and infirm. Carmen, do you want to talk a little bit?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead. Thank you.
We're with NHC Home Care of Hendersonville, and we currently are servicing about 310 patients in this community. So we're really blessed and grateful to take patients from all over this area, and we do provide excellent services, home health, nursing, physical therapy, PT and OT, and we're really grateful for the proclamation and the attention that you've given us tonight. And these are some of my coworkers. This is Rose Knight. She's our office manager. Catherine Nuds, our assistant clinical manager, and Lynn Ward, our clinical manager. So thank you so much for allowing us to participate tonight. And of course, if you ever have any questions about home health, don't hesitate to give us a call.
Carmen, how many residents do you have? How many employees do you have?
We have 67 employees and 300 home health patients, approximately.
Appreciate that.
Thank you
y'all
so much.
Yep. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it. You can-
Oh, okay, awesome.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Next, we have public hearings, which we have none. We have minutes. I entertain a motion to approve our October 24th, 2017 meeting minutes. I have a motion and a second. Seeing no discussion, all in favor of approving the October 24th, 2017 meeting minutes, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say no. That passed unanimously. Next, we have citizen comments. We have nobody signed up for citizen comments. And then committee reports. Chairman Cunningham, Finance Committee.
No report, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Chairman Sprouse, General Committee.
Yes, sir. We had a full room and an action-packed agenda tonight, so appreciate everyone's participation. We heard the official report of the Centralized Purchasing Committee. Their recommendation, the recommendation of our committee, has been that any addition of staff or change of structure be considered by the board as part of its overall budget. So we'd like to, the mayor has a recommendation to include that when he presents his budget this coming spring. Likewise, we heard a proposal to purchase property at 104 Cherokee Road. Likewise, we had asked for that to be considered as part of the overall budget for the expenditures for that. Ordinance 2017-39, dealing with rezoning property in the south side of Avondale Road east of Laverne Circle, received positive recommendation of the committee. Ordinance 2017-41, an ordinance rezoning property located on the east side of Carrington Road south of East Main Street. This is very similar to an ordinance that was before this board at our last meeting. We voted to defer it into this meeting. The reason why it's not before us tonight is that an adjoining parcel is being considered as well. And so that's what we discussed tonight. That will be before the board at the next meeting, and it received positive recommendation of the committee. Resolution to approve a revised final development plan for Glenbrook North came neutral recommendation of the committee. The applicant was presented with some questions by some aldermen in the room and will be prepared to present those answers when it comes before the board. Resolution 2017-41, sponsored by the mayor's resolution to the intent to condemn the Bradford Berry House and a portion of the property on which it was located, and the committee took no action. There were a couple of motions made, but there was they all died for lack of a second. The committee took no action to make recommendation for this. Final item, Resolution 2017-42, will also be before us at the next meeting. Resolution to move information technology employees to the Public Works Department. That also received a positive recommendation of the committee. Thank you.
Appreciate that, Chairman Sprouse. Chairman Brown, Public Safety Committee.
No report, Mayor. Next meeting will be on 12/12.
Thank you. Chairman Skidmore, Public Works.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I have no general report for the board tonight, but I do want to alert the Board of Mayor and Aldermen and also our community that we are scheduled for the Public Works Department, or the city is scheduled for a public hearing on Monday, November the 20th at 6:30 p.m. right in here. We are going to be going over the stormwater drainage ordinance, and we're going to have a hearing on that, so I encourage everyone, not only on the board if you've got the time, also in our community to come out and see what the ordinance has to offer the city. That way you'll have a more knowledgeable presence on that, because it is a large ordinance, and one that was actually originally mandated by the United States Congress in our country. So please come out. Again, that's on Monday, November 20th at 6:30, and that's going to be the stormwater drainage ordinance right here in this room. Thank you, Mayor.
Chairman Skidmore, sorry to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
Y'all's next meeting, I think, is a date that you might want to move. Do you know? Have you all decided on that yet?
We have not,
Okay.
but we're in the process of discussing that, actually.
Okay.
All right. But thank you, and I appreciate you pointing that
Sure,
out.
appreciate it. Alderman Brown.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a question I'll direct to you, and Mr. Skidmore and Mr. Moore will probably want to weigh in on this, and this concerns paving. I had a couple email discussions with you and Chip today concerning paving and some constituents. And just, I guess I'll tell you, frankly, I'm a little bit confused on some stuff.
Okay.
Hey, we approved $2.8 million in our budget, $850,000, which was borrowed money. The rest of it would be general budget money. And, just frankly, I don't see a lot of paving getting done. I've looked at the list. I don't see where there's a lot getting done. I've talked to 5 different aldermen in 5 different wards to see if they are seeing any getting done. And the answer is no. I didn't talk to anybody in Ward 6 because you got Wessington and it's getting done. So, thank you. Yes, sir. But I'm just, constituents are asking when are going to be done. And Chip and I have discussed Anderson Lane. It's my and Mr. Gillies' favorite subject, seems like. But we go from August, we go to September, we go to October, now we go to spring. Frankly, I'm getting to the point that I'm not going to answer constituents' questions anymore. If it got anything to do with paving, I'm just going to give them Chip's number or the mayor's number, or flip it one way or the other. I just kind of want to know why we're not getting some paving done. I mean, we're July, August, September, October, November. We're 5 months into the budget year. We did get Choctaw, and back in there we got some of that done early on. I know Wessington has taken a lot of time, but I'll just leave it there if I can at the question, but reserve the right to ask another question. Is that okay? Sir?
Yeah, we'll see. Chairman Skidmore.
We'll see.
Yep.
Go ahead. Do you want to hit that?
Any question you would direct to me, I'll be more than happy to answer. It's not.
Go ahead.
We'll do that. But do you want to tell them? Chip, do you want to?
Well, I'll tell you, this is an opportunity to ask questions about anything that's going on. It probably really needs to go to the committee.
Okay.
And discuss it there. That may not, I know that doesn't satisfy you.
No, sir.
But the reports is not a time to ask a question about things that really aren't on the reports. What do you want to do, Chairman Skidmore?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, my colleague from Ward 4 has answered me a question. And if I don't feel like that I can give him a proper answer, and if anyone asks me a question, I'm going to answer it, I will defer to my to our Public Works Director, because he will be able to give you a more qualified than answer instead of me giving you a line of political rhetoric that we're all can do up here.
We would never accuse you of that.
And I've been known.
I'd be all for that. Just a straight answer.
And so, yes, sir.
Chip,
so
you want to give us a
Chip,
short answer, maybe the more detailed, more information that you might need to get between now and then could come up later on?
It's very short. Basically, while the money is in the budget, it doesn't mean it's in the bank. And
Right.
so when I go out and when I go do paving, I'm writing $300,000-$400,000 checks. The reason Choctaw got done was because I encumbered the paving money we had from last year, and that money is pretty much was gone pretty much right after Choctaw. And so we have to wait until the bond comes in. And I think you guys finished reading that second reading of October. So now that money's finally here. And then we don't get the rest of that 1.25 until property taxes come in, which they started coming in last month as well. So the money's not there, even though the budget is giving it to me. It's just not in the bank.
Alderman Brown, do you have another question for me?
I do.
Go ahead.
I probably have a half a dozen, but, you know, okay, I understand that,
Okay.
I think. But, well, no, I don't understand. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. If we approve it, then we should be able to do it. So what you're telling me is the money won't be in the bank until now,
Correct.
and the asphalt plants are shutting down now.
No, they're not shutting down. I spoke with Rogers Group. They're bringing actually another plant online. So they'll make sure that one's up and running when they take this current one down. So they should have asphalt.
There'll be asphalt all winter.
all winter, and as long as it's 45 degrees and rising and not raining, we should be good to pave.
We should be getting paid all through the winter. We're going to see some paving somewhere since we've
if
got
it's-
money.
If it's
we have
45
asphalt.
degrees.
Hold on,
yeah.
Chairman Skidmore.
Okay, thank you.
You're getting close, Dan. I'm
Okay.
getting
Yeah,
close to being satisfied.
Okay, Chairman Skidmore, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Here's the thing, let me just kind of put it in language, Alderman, speak up here. We've budgeted the money.
Don't do the rhetoric, just do
Okay, yeah, we budgeted the money. We've applied for the bond. We've got the money back. We're going to put it in the budget, and we're going to start paving now because we have the money to pay Rogers Group to do it. But here's the key with this, and this is very important. I want every alderman to know this because this is very, very important. We're going to pave all winter as long as it doesn't get below 45 degrees, because if you're doing, we're wasting our money, or the taxpayers' money up here. And I would much rather, honestly, but I know you all don't want to hear this, but and we're certainly not going to do this, but I would love to wait until the spring gets in here, but I know we can't, so I don't, but I'm just letting you know, we're still going to pave in this winter as long as it doesn't get below 45. So don't expect any paving probably like in January and February, because it's probably going to get ridiculously cold, and so we probably won't be doing anything. You might see Alderman Waters in a fur coat or something, I don't know. But that's it. So I hope that answered the...
Yeah, I mean, we've never done paving in the winter before, I don't believe. Have we? So, yeah, that's certainly a big help. Certainly a big help.
Okay, thank you. And I do apologize to the board. We didn't realize it was going to be a delay like this, but we didn't think that it would have been this long to approve that bond from the budget. But those are just the slow wheels of democracy and government, local government in action. How's that pontificating for you there?
It's help. It helped.
Okay. Yeah. All right, thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Alderman Waters, we may not be done.
Thank you, Mayor. I am not a weatherman, and if my colleague in Ward 1 is a weatherman, I want to see his credentials, but my cohort here and myself, we're fed up with this Westerton paving. Chip, would you come back to the podium? I tell you what, if I had a dime for every call and email I've got on Western in the last year, I'd be rich. But my question to you, Chip, is Rogers Group the only paving company that we use? I'm sorry, turn your mic on.
I'm sorry, that's my fault.
They're the one who has our annual contract, yes.
So, and what you're saying, they're the only ones that does our paving?
Correct.
We can't get nobody else, even though Rogers Group is paving and has a contract, we cannot get anybody else?
I would have to let out another request for bids for another contract.
Well, can we do that?
I will,
I know I'm on the Public Works Committee. I know I shouldn't be asking questions I ought to know since I'm on your committee. But it's at the point where, I don't know about my colleague here, but I'm scared to answer my phone. And, well, no, I'm not scared. I'll take that back. I'm not scared. But it's getting to a point, and you're talking about the weather below 40. I don't buy that. We've got we've got a good month ahead of us that we ought to get this Western done. Now, I've got, and not in my ward, it's in another ward that called me, and it's on Hillwood. It's in another ward. And I went over there today, and it's pathetic. So, again, as a member of the committee, I shouldn't be going off on you because I ought to know the answers. But I wish we had somebody else that could come in and assist Rogers Group, and let's expedite this thing, because we can't wait till snow falls. Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Alderman Gilly.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I have a question about Monday workshop first. Then I'm going to go back to a question on the paving. Has HUD been invited to the workshop Monday?
Go ahead, Chairman Skipper.
Not personally, but I would.
No, I thought you were, sorry.
That's all right.
There you go. I turned the wrong chairman on.
That's okay. Not personally, but I will promise you I'll call them first thing in the morning and ask them. That's a good idea.
Because I know we had heard that we might need to.
Yeah, and I think that's a very, very
smooth
good
over
idea.
some things.
Yeah. In fact, I'll write that down and I'll do it first thing in the morning.
Chip, I guess this is for you if it's okay if I ask him a question. On the paving, is it fair to say that we're Westington's a priority, obviously. Lord, no, I mean, his son lives over there and my mother lives on Westington Place, so it's a priority for the Sunday dinner conversation for me.
It is definitely a priority.
Is it fair to say that we're kind of having to wait in other areas until that gets done?
Well, I would like to go back to the point of even if we did have a second contract,
That was going to be my next question.
our
so
general
good.
fund balance won't let me go and write $300,000 checks for paving. I've been asked by the mayor and the finance director to hold off because I can spend enough money and chip away at our fund balance so quick, it's scary. So
True.
we have to be careful about our big ticket items. I haven't even bought some trucks and equipment because we're wanting to make sure our money's in before we go and write $500,000 checks.
Understandable, but we should have $800,000 right now from bond issue. My question is, with that being now available, not general fund money, are we able to do two things at once with that being available?
Oh yes, I actually have approved. We've had it not an estimate, but we've got a plan to finish improving the intersection at Drakes Creek and Stop 30 as far as some interim stuff. I've already got that plan to do in the next 2 weeks as weather allows, and we've already given the list to Rogers Group for all the streets to pave. And as soon as I know they're wrapping up with giving me some estimates on a couple of streets, I'll turn them loose for that.
So we could see multiple things going on.
Yes. One other thing I would say is that I've learned that Metro, because they're so big, they actually do run multiple companies, and I believe they have different quadrants of the city. So I guess that's how they probably did that bidding process.
I mean, it's clearly new territory for us to be spending this much money on paving. So
It is. That's true.
work in progress, and hopefully we're not all going to make each other mad in the process. So, but please do know that I almost think, Mayor, this is political rhetoric, I don't know what you want to call it, but I almost think it would be a good idea. We've had several workshops on different other things. If we could maybe 30 minutes before or 30 minutes after a Boma meeting have a little time where we all get a exact explanation of where we're at, what the priority list is of roads, what is coming. Maybe that could be at a public works meeting. I don't even.
We do. That's what we normally do in our public works.
I mean,
we do that. Would you do? We do just exactly what you said.
I just don't want to be. I want it to be just specific time spent on paving. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
sure do.
Where we're all already here and nobody has an excuse not to hear about it and complain. Because I don't mind coming to a public works meeting, but
Sure.
I'll
Well, I
gladly
will
do
say,
that.
and just in response, Mayor, if I might,
Go ahead.
and I appreciate those words because they're well taken by not only me but our committee as well and our Public Works Department. We're experiencing, and in a way, I know we're having some headaches, but I'm proud to say, I mean, we are probably paving within the city of Hendersonville the most that we ever have all at one time. And so I'm looking forward to that project to go full force and ongoing, and we're going to have some headaches. There's no question about it, because we haven't ever in the city done as much paving at one time as we're doing now. And I look forward to that. So any criticism like that, I look at it as constructive criticism. I don't look at it, as anything but that.
I didn't mean to sound critical.
Criticism means
I want to be educated.
different things. It doesn't mean...
Right. I just want to make sure I'm educated when I answer.
Sure, yes, sir.
Any question.
And I appreciate y'all letting us know, because it
That's all I
helps
have.
us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Alderman Stamper.
I'll be critical. I know I've missed a couple workshops here and there, but I don't remember when we stopped paving from July 1 until November. We're a fiscal year entity. I mean, we know how we have been for 40-something years. I mean, I don't know. I'm not being critical of you, Chairman Skidmore. I didn't know we just stopped paving in the middle of the time that we need to be paving.
We didn't.
I don't recall that happening in the past, and we've always run with a low fund balance. We authorize tax anticipation notes. We try to give folks, we try to give y'all the resources you need. So this goes back to the issue, the resolution we passed about getting the general fund balance up, I guess, because I don't want us to have to worry about the pocketbook when it comes to paving, because it looks like we've had to make those tough decisions this year. And I'm being critical, but I'm not being critical. I mean, I understand the position you're in, but that's an indictment on all of us, I guess. We've had to make sacrifices, but this is one where it's just, to me, it's not acceptable. We've got to be paving in those summer months and get that general fund up. So I thank Alderman Brown for bringing this up. It's a valid concern. Thank you for all your answers, Chip, Mayor, Chairman Skidmore. Thank you.
Yes. Alderman Stamford, thank you. Alderman Cunningham.
Thank you, Mayor. Correct me if I'm wrong. 3 weeks ago, we voted to deposit $5.8 million in our bank account. Is that
That's true.
correct?
That's right, yeah.
When was it deposited? 3 weeks ago, or?
Well, I think, and help me out here, John, what we actually voted on was how to spend that money. It was deposited a couple weeks before that.
Okay. And I can't remember how much of that was for paving. I know
$850.
$850, okay. So are we spending that money on something else
No.
in the meantime?
No, it'll be spent on paving.
But it should have been started spending 3 weeks ago.
Once you, if I may, once you get that money in the account, finance then has to go through the budget and they have to assign it different account numbers, and that usually takes about a week. And so it takes me.
Oh no! No, tell me that's not true.
Yes, and then they give me
Say
the
it
numbers.
isn't so.
They give me the numbers then to what I can then write POs against, and then I can assign the projects to that PO. And so that takes probably another week.
Okay, so apparently it's not a priority.
It's as we
If
get
it takes-
Well, it is a
Any other
priority.
questions?
Oh, sorry.
No disrespect.
Yes, I do. And then the Wessington, there's no ETA for that to be.
Yes, ma'am. We're paving Thursday, weather permitting.
Okay, so that'll be done?
Hopefully Thursday and Friday.
Okay. And then the resources that are in Wessington will be spread out
Yes,
on
ma'am.
the other paving projects?
And ditches and sidewalks.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor.
Alderman Sprouse.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank Chip. One of the things we have to consider, it's not out of the ordinary that we are in maintenance mode during the fall and build and construction mode in the spring. Payday for us is in February. It's no different than in a household that you write your budget for the year and you write your budget for the month, but you're not going to pay the bills or incur the expenses until after you get paid. I know that it can be frustrating that there can be days or weeks that take place between the appropriations of hundreds of thousands of dollars and the expenditure of hundreds of thousands of dollars. But I take comfort in that, not if it's an extraordinary delay, in that proper checks and balances are in place, because we're spending public money, we're not spending private money. And the idea that the finance director has to review expenses before they go out, particularly something this large, and approve that and set up the accounting, actually comes down to a level of accountability, not just to the department heads and the employees, but to this board as well. and we don't want to run fast and loose with that. I don't think there's anything out of the ordinary, but one thing that I really hope that we can focus on are the different types of expenditures and projects that they may have in the Public Works Department. They have what they would consider, I would consider, the standard maintenance, things that you know you're going to have to work on, you're going to have to do. You're going to have the expanded maintenance, to be prepared to answer questions, and we can be prepared to ask them.
Alderman Brown.
Thanks, Chip, for willing to be in the hot seat tonight.
Appreciate that. Next on the agenda is our Capital Projects Committee report. Chairman Campbell.
Chairman, next meeting will be November the 20th at 5 o'clock here in City Hall. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Petrelli, Planning Commission, please.
Thank you, Mayor. So the Planning Commission met on November 7th, 2017. Of the projects approved, we have Meadows of Indian Lake Phase 6 final plat, Walking Lion final plat, Slim Chicken's site plan. This is going to go in the old donut store in front of Publix. So we finally got a tenant in there, which is great. Magnetic Hold site plan is approved. Oakwood Farm site plan approved. Glenbrook North Village, the FDV amendment was approved with agreed upon road improvements to Forest Retreat Road. Thank you, Mayor.
We appreciate that. Is anybody qualified to give a Hendersonville Horizons report? We'll put that off until Alderman Woodcock is back. Mayor's report, a couple things real quickly. We have a meeting scheduled right now for December 26th. Is anybody inclined to give me some direction on that meeting at this time?
I'd like to see you cancel that meeting.
Okay. No, it's not a motion. It's
That'd be a suggestion.
that's what I'm looking for. Okay. Thank you. I will get back to you on that. Hold on. Go ahead.
My one concern is we just deferred something. We didn't defer, we didn't take action to place something on tonight's agenda. Thoughts that it was going to be on that meeting, and we had a couple things come out of committee that could be.
We have two meetings
I'm
before
sorry.
that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm thinking November.
Yeah.
I can't think Christmas until Thanksgiving.
Okay, appreciate that. We've got two things that have come up, and I'd love for some direction. If we have an alderman that would like to be part of an advisory committee, maybe an official committee, I'm not real sure what we're going to do. We have two items that repeatedly come up at City Hall that I'd love to have some advice and some direction from aldermen as well as the public. Our bus service the Regional Transportation Authority bus service that carries about 60, 80 folks every day to Nashville and carries them back in the afternoon. We're being told that the cost to the city is going to go from $55,000 to $128,000. I've been actively looking for alternatives for the past 6 or 8 months. I've been actively talking to the RTA staff about what they can do to increase ridership. I worry that at the end of June, we are going to be asked to sign a contract for $128,000. Any direction that anybody wants to give me, if anybody wants to step up and serve as part of a committee or advisory team, I'd really appreciate that. Alderman Stamper.
I'd be willing to serve, Mayor, especially because I'd like to know more why it's going to double, basically, in price. But I'd be happy to be on that committee.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Alderman Stamper. The other comments I don't really appreciate. So the other item is that we are having a greater problem with long-distance landlords. There are 5 or 6 large national corporations that are owning more and more properties in Hendersonville. And it's not just them, but it's also people who own multiple properties that live nearby that are not doing a good job of monitoring their tenants' care of those properties. We really need to look at some options and some, I should say, opportunities to step up our enforcement and our appeal to those property owners. Again, if anybody would like to be part of a group giving me input on that, feel free to email me sometime, because I'm going to start moving on that as well. So thank you, Alderman Petrelli.
Question on that.
Yep.
Are you referring to property standards under codes, or are you referring to police department, law enforcement?
All of those, as well as planning. as well as the possibility of insisting that some property owners be registered, some properties be considered businesses as opposed to residential.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. One last thing, Chief Bush and his staff over the weekend handed out and installed 100 smoke alarms. It's phenomenal. They still have more, so if anybody knows of somebody that needs a smoke alarm, especially in some of our higher density areas, that would be an opportunity for our staff to still go out and put up the smoke alarms. They're planning to spend another day in December doing that and knocking on some doors. But if you hear of somebody that has that says to you, "I'd like to get a smoke alarm," or somebody wants to call City Hall, Chief Bush and his staff are happy to do that. Excellent group of folks that are doing that, and at the same time they get to interact with some folks part of the community and give them some pointers and some ideas as well. I very much appreciate what the firefighters have done with that. Next we have second reading of ordinance 2017-37. This is an ordinance amending fiscal year 2018 budget ordinance 2017-23 and accepting a State of Tennessee Department of Transportation Tennessee Highway Safety Grant in the amount of $20,010 for the Hendersonville Police Department. Alderman Brown? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, please say no. Thank you. That passes unanimously. Next, we have reading of Resolution 2017-35. This is the resolution accepting dedication of the completed streets of Glenbrook Way, Phase 1. Alderman Petrelli? We have a motion and a second. Alderman Petrelli, would you like to speak? Or we can come back to you. Alderman Hedberg.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a question for Chip, if that's okay.
Sure,
I'm just
Chip.
wondering about the final paragraph on this resolution. Basically, the last two lines where we dedicate the completed streets, expressly exclude from the acceptance are 3 sections of concrete pavers which will remain responsibility of the property owners. Is it possible that we can actually reword that to have the property owners replace those pavers with something other than pavers? Because they're a pain.
I don't know that I can do that. I think that would be the board.
They will need to come back to myself, planning, and Chip with some alternative. If they can work out some pavers that work, I'd be okay with it. But obviously, the ones they have.
Oh, they're just not good. I mean, it's ridiculous. They're coming out on a daily basis.
I agree.
I don't know how many. It's good for tire discount and discount tire and places like that because they're just booming with wheel alignments, but it's not good. I mean, they should never have put them pavers in.
I'll move the table.
Next, we have Alderman Stamper. Alderman Hedberg, were you finished?
Yes, thank you.
I thought I heard something out of order to table, but I liked it. I want to table this.
We have a motion to table this and a second. Motion to table is a little bit different. That's fine. We still need a 2/3 vote to do that. We have a motion, a second, and that is motion to defer is debatable. Motion to table is not. All those in favor of tabling Resolution 2017-35, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed, please say no.
No.
I believe we had one no. That'd be Alderman Waters. Anybody else? We have 2 people voting no. So the motion to table passes 8 to 2. 9-2. I appreciate that. So that will be tabled. What we will need then is we will need at a meeting in the future a motion to bring that off the table. Okay. Chip, appreciate your time. Next we have.
Mr. Chairman, I think I'm in the queue, ain't I?
You are, but we've dispensed with that item. Go ahead if you want to. If you want to help explain something with us, go ahead.
Well, yeah, I do want explanation. Why we tabling it?
Well,
give me an answer.
I can't give you an answer. It wasn't my motion, and you'd have to ask everybody who did this, and it can come up at the next meeting. So I appreciate that. I appreciate your concern in that.
One of the information I wanted to let you know the queue for...
Turn it on.
I got you, but we have now dispensed with this.
Yeah, I know.
I can understand.
I'm just letting the board know.
I got you. So,
Can I ask a question?
is it the same one you just asked?
No, if it was, I
Go
would
ahead.
ask.
Go ahead.
Follow up to Alderman in Ward 3's question, what she read. The 3 section, is that the 3 brick section that we're talking about?
It is.
Mayor, I'll be happy to
Why don't
make
we
a
say-
motion to suspend
why
the
we-
rules.
Hold
10
hold.
minutes of discussion.
I got you. First off, Alderman Waters, we've dispensed with that item, but hold on one second. We have a motion from Alderman Sprouse to suspend the rules and consider and continue the discussion on this.
5 minutes discussion.
For 5 minutes. Do we have a second to that? That fails for lack of a second. Next.
He said.
I said second.
Oh, didn't hear you, sorry. We have a motion, a second, for a 5-minute discussion on this item. All those in favor, and this again takes 2/3 vote because we are essentially changing the agenda, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed to 5 minutes of discussion on this item, please signify by saying no. That passes unanimously. Alderman Waters, please go ahead.
I'm just concerned about the wording. It is, we got 3 sections of just bricks. I call them cobblestones. Is that what we're referring to, Mr. Chairman, or City Attorney, either one?
Yes.
It's the 3 sections.
Yes.
Now, so it's going to be their responsibility. I mean, we're not going to we're not going to release them, but we're going to leave this in there, right?
Right. This prevents us from releasing them.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. We can release them, but this will be in there, excluding the release, right, John? If I may ask John. Yes. Or Mary, either one. I mean, I think I'm confused, and excuse me for my ignorance, but
This accepts the road, with the exception of the 3 parts that have the cobblestones.
the 3 brick sections
Right.
on Glenway. Okay, I
We
understand
expect
that.
after they fix that, they would come back and ask us if we would accept dedication of those 3 sections.
Thank you.
It's been 10 years.
I yield back.
Okay, thank you. We got 3.5 minutes. Well, next on the agenda is, you'll see 2 items there, consideration of appointment, and we will deal with that in 2 weeks. Another item that we will deal with in 2 weeks, let me pass this out. Go those that way. This is an item, this is a petition that has been presented to us, that is asking us to take action. We will take action in 2 weeks. It does not go through a committee.
Mayor, I make a motion to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, please say no. Appreciate that. I know.
Too slow.